Hi, it's Micki with Cat and Mouse Astrology. We are here to talk about the Cancer full moon at 24 degrees here on January 13th and maybe it's January 14th, depending on where you are on the globe in 2025. It's a brand new year. Cat can't join us today, but I'm hoping she'll come back and we'll go through a more detailed interpretation of this. This is a quick rundown of this moon. I hope it will help you and give you some sparking ideas and some guidance. At the very end of the video, I'll give you some specific guidance, some specific tips. So this is an opportunity moon. It's a breakthrough moon. It is Satori. Satori is a Japanese word that kind of roughly means ping, aha, it's an aha movement, aha moment. It's an aha moment, or it can lead to an aha moment. It's an interesting moon. So here we go. Here's a picture of it. We have a moon, again, a full moon being the moon opposite the sun, that is loosely conjunct Mars. That's adding some energy. It's also taking us back because this Mars is retrograde. There's some squares going on. You can see that we've got Saturn square Jupiter. And we also have in this mix some lovely trines, and that's with Uranus and the moon and the sun. So we got an interesting thing to unpack. Notice the big old square in the middle with the cross. That's that's a background hum, and we'll take a look at that and its meaning in a little bit here too. So let's look at a quick general interpretation of this moon. In general, keep it real. That's what Saturn says. Saturn's part of that square. It says keep it real. While you're making your big decisions, your big plans for change, the action you need to take requires a review of the past in order to make positive change for the future. There's also a secret, or maybe something you're not aware of or not willing to look at, and that's going to require some healing in order for this to really work out the way you want it to in the long term. So here we have the details of our moon. Here's the moon and its general meaning. It is opposite the sun. That's a full moon. It is sextile Uranus. And of course, we have Sun trine Uranus as well in this mix. So this all brings this concept of surprise, explosion, rebellion, technology, opportunity, excitement, Satori. It's all there. And we've got a focus here, the focus coming from the Sabian symbol at 24 degrees. A loose interpretation is focus on complex inner potentialities for harmonic and concrete relationships. Focus on complex inner potentialities for harmonic and concrete relationships. I like the Sabian symbols as a meditation point. Um, they're not completely random. Um, I like things to be sort of relevant. And some people don't think that, some people don't feel the relevance in astrology, but for a several thousand-year-old practice, based on the stars that are very predictable, it feels relevant to me. And there's a relevance in the Sabian symbols because they're based on the placement in the sky of where this focus is, this 24 degrees focus is. So they were created by a human being with all of our fallibilities, and so I think it is a meditation point as something to consider that might help provide insight into this moon for you. So here's again our general wrap up of this thing. The full moon in Cancer is offering an opportunity to break free, break out, or break on through to the other side. But there's a catch. Saturn is putting a restraint on our big plans to push forward. And that's not all. Mars is influencing this Cancer moon, while square Neptune. And that indicates that our push forward could be delusional, not well planned out. We got rose-colored glasses on. Even if we think we're getting somewhere, we might actually be, back pedaling, swimming backwards. We don't know where we're going, but take heart because Venus adds a little love to this mix, and we'll take a look at that part of it a little bit deeper here. This also is it's relevant to look back in time because this moon harkens back to January 10th of 2024 when we also had a Cancer full moon. Bit of a backward looking moon in a very general way. So here we have two water signs. Venus and Mars are both in the water deep, swimming away. And Venus is loving it in Pisces. That's her happy place. She can hold her own with Saturn. Venus and Saturn isn't necessarily a bad combination. Venus, the warrior, can deal with the structure that Saturn offers. Venus, the beautifier, might, have a more stoic aesthetic. Let's put it that way. Things might be a little plainer with Venus and Saturn conjoined. But she's approaching a review of all things Saturnine. She's going to greet Saturn here in a minute. She's going to walk on by. Hi, Saturn. How you doing? We like each other now, don't we? Yep, I like your structure. It's good. It helps me out. And then she's going to move forward a little bit, and then she's going to go, oh, wait a minute. I don't think all my ducks are in a row, and I need more of that structure. I need more of what Saturn has to offer, backing up, backpedal, backpedal, backpedal. So we are in a place both with Mars and with Venus. This whole moon is reflecting that in all the ways we want to go forward, there's a whole lot we got to clean up back there before we're going to be taking very many steps towards something brand new. So Mars is not in his happy place. This is not a good place for Mars. Mars, the Olympic swimmer, yes. But Mars in general is not enjoying the place of the water placement. It's hard to take action, in water. Mars is in his mama bear role, protecting the house, protecting the home, protecting wherever Cancer is for you. Cancer is your first house, it's protecting you. Cancer is your second house, protecting your possessions. Cancer is your third house, protecting your neighborhood, your siblings. Cancer is your fourth house, protecting your home. Cancer is your fifth house, protecting your children, your creative projects. Cancer is your sixth house, protecting your work, your pets. Cancer is your seventh house, protecting your relationships, your partnerships. Cancer is your eighth house, protecting how you interact with other people and their money and resources. Cancer is your ninth house, protecting your higher spiritual self, your higher learning, those things that you do out in a way in the larger world. Cancer is in your 10th house, protecting your career, how you're viewed by others in the outer world. Cancer is in your 11th house, protecting your relationships with groups, large, gatherings of people, or the way groups see you. And in your 12th house, Cancer, Mars is there protecting your subconscious mind, those things that you do in the quiet and privacy of your home, or those things that you're working out in the back of your mind. Cancer is protecting in Cancer. Sorry, Mars is protective in Cancer. That's really good. But Mars can't take much action in Cancer. It's not getting much traction. Let's put it that way. So this again, because of where Mars is now retrograde at, we're in the mid process of moving through. We're going to go from here at 27 degrees or so all the way back to 17. So 17 is a big deal. And we'll talk about, in a second here, we'll talk about 17 degrees of Cancer and what it means, what it might mean for you. So here we want to review our actions, maybe all the way back through September. What were you beginning back, at the end of the summer? And this is all going to play out, by probably the end of March. So things are going to start to roll forward anyway. Maybe it won't play out by the end of March, might not, but they'll begin to roll forward by the end of March. We might really be into the end of April before we're in new territory. So beware, there will be another Mars-Moon conjunction on March 8th. So right now, what we're dealing with is a Mars-Moon conjunction, loosely conjunct, still counts. and meaning that, it's not just the second that these two planets. This is a process, and you might be feeling building it up to it. There's not usually a second where there's a trigger point, though there can be. Usually it's much more of a gradual thing that you feel for a while and then it gradually goes away. So here's a couple. We have a square that we need to take a look at. Squares between Jupiter and Saturn is something astrologers, if you've been listening to astrology, we've been talking about a long time because we had the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction back in 2020. So now we're at the quarter mark, and this is the testing point. Again, squares are that test. The pressure is on, time to turn a corner, and the meanings here between Jupiter and Saturn could be things. You might be exploring some boundaries. You might be making commitments that you don't really want to make, or you're afraid to make commitments, or it might be more than you could chew. You might be disturbed by the slow growth of things. You want things to move forward, and they're not quite getting there as fast as you want. Um, but there's a beneficial structure here. There's a realizing of your success, making things real, expanding outside limits. You just have to watch out for getting out of control and biting off more than you can chew. And we've got some beautiful trines. So, again, we have with Mars trine Neptune, we've got something big and dreamy that's potential. A great aspect for pursuing goals that require imagination, intuition, and a sense of higher purpose. Now, this is square Chiron and the black moon. So I'm going to talk about that down below a little bit because that gets us into some deeper stuff. Um, Mars is sitting, let me scroll back up. Mars is sitting here, as I said before, with the moon across from the sun, and at the cross points sit black moon and Chiron at 19 and 21 degrees, loosely square this moon, but square this moon. And this configuration is, when we look at the moons, they're important because they're setting the tone. They're giving us the chord. What is the background music for the next 2 weeks and potentially the next 6 months? So this chord that's being played in the background, this hum, is a little discordant. And let's take a look at the meaning of that further. So because it's square Chiron and black moon, it doesn't take away the positive aspects of this trine. Mars gives action to the dream. There's an opportunity for, intuition to come to the fore. Satori, that's Satori. Suddenly you get, I get it. And senses of higher purpose. These are all real. But the square, again, is something we want to take a look at. So give me a second for that. We also have a sextile, as we talked a little bit earlier about, with Uranus. And that's opportunity, excitement, breakthrough. And this opportunity for personal freedom and breakthrough is something that can align with your true desires and your individuality because the sun's involved. The sun's involved in this. So Sun trine Uranus, bam, that's bright. That's bright, that's beautiful, that's positive. That can burn off a lot of negative stuff that might be leftovers from this retrograde Mars, okay? This is a good energy that we can use to, as we review things, to give us the right understanding of what we want to take forward out of it all. Because review sometimes means we're going to leave some things behind. Mars means we're going to cut some things out. So since we're still backing up and looking back with this bright, shiny sun and change opportunity Uranus, we can go, oh yeah, I want to cut that. This is a good opportunity to get rid of some dead wood. Finally, here, some guidance. So what do we have? You have a complex mix of energies involving taking action, creative spirituality, primal instincts, deep emotional wounds. The challenge and opportunity lie in harmonizing your desires and actions with your deeper unconscious motivations. That's why I like to meditate on those Sabian symbols, because that can get us there. You might find yourself torn between wanting to assert your individuality and desires while also dealing with inner conflict or past hurts. You may have powerful creative or spiritual drives that you wish to express, but you might feel blocked by unresolved emotional issues or societal expectations. So, this combination of contrasting feelings are something we're all going to be dealing with, and you get more specifics about this when you look at the houses. Where is Cancer again in your chart? The key to navigating this moon and its trines and squares and its potential for our future is in balance, processing our wounds, embracing the raw, and visualizing your dream. So, with awareness and integration, this combination can lead to really profound healing, creativity, courageous assertion of your true self. So this is really, really a good opportunity here, but it's not going to just leap into a future. Again, you're going to have to do a little meditation, a little work on it. You have to roll back a little bit, cut some things down, examine your inner motives, and then move forward with clear insight, Satori, that you are due. So a final, again, meditation point is the Sabian symbol at 17 degrees of Cancer, the unfoldment of multi-level potentialities issuing from an original germ, the seed of life, and all the things that can grow from it. The life urge to actualize your own, very unique, special potential. And I will leave us on that note. We'll see you at the new moon. Cheers.